Yeah, I got the stats from the newspaper. Yep. Welcome everybody to Lubbock, Texas, Friendship to be exact, as we're in Wolford. We're at the Friendship High School as we are going to be taking on the Lady Tigers of Friendship. Hi, this is Ron Gunner. Jared, bear with me on the camera. And this should be a pretty good game as the Texas tournament, so to speak, for the Lady Eagles is about to wrap up. They have had the last 3 games. This will be their 4th one against Texas squads. Of course, they're perfect at 3-0. And they plan on being that by the time they get through this game, being 4-0 as well. Of course, there are a lot of things to talk about, so let's go ahead and start off with the 6A Friendship Lady Tigers. They're 11-6 right now, the 5-game winning streak. They are 3-1 and home, and their head coach is Trent Hillard. They have been scoring 872 points for this season so far, while just giving up 667 points. Going to be wearing those white, blue, yellow, royal blue, and gold colors. Looks like they'll be predominantly white and, of course, black and gold for the Hobbs Eagles. They've had some good runs. They've had some, definitely some tournaments to go conquer. And the last 5 games they had was against Randall, as they beat them in Randall. Before that was a tournament they had to face Mesquite and beat them 52-25, so that was a convincing victory for them. Tyler Legacy was another one. It was a 8-point victory, 57-49. Horn, they beat them 53-19, and you're seeing kind of a pattern here as far as scoring in the 50s. Also, Madisonville, they beat them to start off on the 4th of December. That was his final score of 57-31. Before that, they played Rockwell and lost. It was a low-scoring affair, and it was right here. Actually, there was a looks like a tournament, and it was a score of 28-27, and that was the last loss the Lady Tigers have suffered. So, seems if they get in their 50s, they tend to win the games a little more, and if they're held down to below 40, they have a tendency to lose those games. These two faced last season. Of course, that was in Hobbs, and Hobbs was able to get the victory, but it wasn't easy at first. First quarter had a 12-7 start, followed by Hobbs getting 14 points in the second, while Friendship had 10. So the halftime score was just a 9-point differential, 26-17. Third quarter also was a little low scoring, 12-9, 12 for the Hobbs Eagles, and Friendship had 9. And then Hobbs doubled up on them on the fourth quarter, and that was a score of 12-6. Of course, with this being in Texas, there will not be a mercy rule if that does apply. Of course, that means 35 points or more. Usually in New Mexico, that is where the clock starts to go, but not this time around. So that was the final score of 50-32 last year. And I'm just thinking Friendship might have to come back and try to get the victory out of this one, especially from in front of the home crowd. But again, you never know. Hobbs Eagles always looking dominant, and these Lady Eagles are definitely in their stride, even with some injuries and players that aren't playing all the games. They are still doing very well as far as the scoring. Let's go ahead and talk about Friendship Lady Tigers lineup, starting off with the bench. That'll be Maddie James, number 10. She's a senior. She'll be there, along with Emily Lent, senior as well, number 11. Amira Busby is a freshman. She'll be on the floor at some time, I'm sure, as number 14. Number 20, Piper Smith, junior, will be here as well, along with Avery Cabrera at number 21. Number 24, Ansley Middleton is a senior, and Brooklyn Cox, the junior, she'll be wearing number 25. For the starters for the Lady Tigers, it'll be Maisie Bing, number 2, a senior. Sophomore Madison Phillips at number 4. Number 15, Jada Jackson, junior. And the senior, number 23, Addison Bollinger. And those are everything we need to know pretty much for the most part for the Lady Tigers as they're going to be hosting here in just minutes. There we go. On the other side of the coin, of course, there is the Hobbs Lady Eagles coming in here with 29 three-pointers for the season, getting 285 points for them and just holding their opponents to 157. They have a 5-0 record. Their free throws, they're at 62% from the free throw range. Really didn't have a whole lot of opportunities in the last game against Bel Air, but they do have 52 of 83 shots attempted. Go through the schedule once again, and remember they had several Texas teams that they faced against, besides Bel Air, which was a 77-22 game, along with Pebble Hills, and they faced them in Hobbs. That was a score of 64-22, holding two opponents to 22. That's pretty impressive, especially since one was on mercy rule and the other one wasn't. Then there was Lubbock Cooper, and that was a tight game, but 43-35, an 8-point difference. Hobbs was able to pull off the victory on that one. Mayfield gave him a little bit of a struggle on that one, but in the end it was 52-39. Hobbs was able to get out of that one, and Mayfield has been one of those teams that has been able to slow down the Hobbs offense as well and cause a little more confusion and a little less scoring. Of course, Sandia, we all know, they started them off, and that was last season's championship game. Sandia was able to win that one, but first game of the season, and it was 49-39. And also remember that Hobbs, the only team that they lost against last season was Sandia. So maybe that's a sign that says that Hobbs is not going to lose any games this season, but then that doesn't mean as much if you look at it from other than paper. Just hopeful that maybe that will be the case. But for the most part, let's go ahead and talk about the lineup for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. We've got Jordan Mendoza, who's going to be on. That's a junior, number 14. Alana Armitage, number 12. Wanted to mention her. Always fun to watch, but I don't think we're going to be watching her tonight. Senior, she is out. Mariah Mojica, the sophomore at number 20, will be here, along with possibly Zayla Hardison. Her being able to play is in question, apparently, number 22, the junior. Carly Rivera is here, sophomore at number 23, along with Audrey Mackey, freshman, number 34, and 42, that'll be Melanie Monroe will be here to possibly play. She has had 1 or 2 from the line and hit a three-pointer as well. For your starters, it'll be number 4, Madison Zepeda, along with the high-scoring 8th grader, 27 points in her last game against the Bel Air squad, and that'll be Zoe Ross. She has roughly 11 points per game so far, and I think she's going to be able to get that average up as time goes by, where she is wearing the numbers 24. 9-17 is what she is from the line. We also have Ariela Navarro at number 30, a senior, and Caitlin Munez. She is a senior, so she's a junior. Has 13 of 22 from the free throw line, and I can't say free throw right, but I'm going to try again. At 5'7", Munez is another one of those that is fun to watch and hard to guard against. She only played a little bit in the last game, but I suspect she may be rotated around and play a little bit more since she's one of the starters. We've got 4 minutes to go. We're about to get the national anthem here as the teams are still warming up. We'll be back in a moment or two to get everything started right here on the Hobbs Network. Thank you very much for being here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. We do have time, and we do have a lot of sponsors. So let's get our sponsors in, without whom, of course, we would not be able to put these on the air, especially on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. R360 IP, actually, that's the wrong one. Eastern Mexico University, along with Lasco Construction, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, Badger, Master Plumbers, Innomar Pipeline, Divine Energy Services, Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding Windows and Doors, along with DNC Electric, Bel Air Bowl, Lee County State Bank, Forest Tire. Thank you much for all the sponsorship. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on Hobbs America and YouTube and even on the Facebook page. All right, we are back. Once again, we've got 90 seconds to go before this thing gets underway, tipped off. Those look like we're going to get an entrance from the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So once again, a 6A team facing the 5A Hobbs Eagles. Frenship will be in the white with the blue, royal blue trim and yellow lettering, or gold. Hobbs should be in the black with white numbers, and here they come. As a team onto the court. There's Armitage right there. She's not dressed, but she is there for the team. And I know she's a big supporter as well. So once again, the starters for both teams: Maisie Beam for the Lady Tigers, number 2. Number 4, Madison Phillips. Number 15, Jada Jackson Jr. Number 23, Addison Bollinger. And I just realized I missed one. We are getting an anthem. We'll be back in a moment. Back live here with action. It is worthy to note that the Lady Friendship Tigers are ranked at number 2 for the Lubbock area. So they may not be as easy as they were last season, expecting a lower scoring game, but you never know what's going to happen with these. Again, both sides are being introduced. Let's try this again from the top. Maisie Beam, number 2, a senior. It's going to be starting off along with number 4, sophomore Madison Phillips. Number 11, senior Emily Lent. Number 15, Jada Jackson Jr. and senior number 23, Addison Boilinger. On the other side, of course, the head coach for the Lady Tigers, Trent Hillard. On the other side, Madison Zapata, number 4, the senior, with almost over 17 points a game, 9 out of 10 from the free throw line. Along with the high scoring, at least last game, 27 points for Zoe Ross. She'll be starting the 8th grader. Number 24. Number 30, the senior, Ariel Navarro. Along with number 33, the junior, Caitlin Muniz. And we can't forget number 52, Katie Godwin, as she is putting in 8 points a game as well, 5 of 6 from the line. It's going to be interesting to see who wins the tip-off on this one. Both lineups have been introduced. Good, I like their scoreboard over there. This one just similar to a Hobbs, although they may not have the players. If they don't have the players, it's not the same. So let's see who's going to be doing the tipping off. Will be Madison Zapata, 5'2", going up against a tall. That'll be Ansley Middleton. No, actually not Ansley Middleton. This is Jada Jackson, the junior. It's pretty easy to know who's going to win the tip. Yep, didn't even try. Goes to the Tigers. And we are underway as they already lose the ball. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by, that would be Ross. Now in the hands of Bollinger. Inside, thought about it, got double team, but instead we'll get it out to Phillips. Back to Beam, over to Phillips, and then a running jumper from Jackson as it goes in for 2. So Jackson with a touch on that one. Back to the other side, Zoe Ross, and that is over to Navarro. Back to Navarro, right wing. Further right wing is over as Zapata. Back over to the left now, Katie Godwin. And that is Ross, back to Godwin. Godwin gonna look around for a moment, pass it back to Zapata. Thought about a 3, but thought it's a little too much, and did not. Muniz. Now back to Zapata once again on the right wing. Gonna go ahead and drive the lane a little bit, put up a shot, missed, but got her own rebound as it goes over to Muniz. 3-pointer from Muniz, going to hit the front of the rim, no good, and that's going to be a miss. And it will be out of bounds, last touched by Hobbs. 2-0 early on in this game, 6:47 to go. And now pass dangerously, and it's going to get in the hands of Beam as Maisie gets across and gets it over to the left wing, up for 3, and in and out, no good. And that was going to be for Phillips. Muniz. No, that's Navarro. And now Muniz over. Zapata. That's Ross. Ross lost the handle on that one, but gets it back quick. Nice steal. Turnovers on both sides. And a miss. Turnover for Hobbs. Second one of the game. Jackson now with the ball, and we'll get it back. Jackson working the offense, going to get it over to the hands of Bollinger, who puts it in Phillips' hands inside, puts up a nice running shot for 2, and it looks like Phillips gets that one for 2. Actually, no, that was Jackson. 4 all. Jackson with the rebound. She goes across. Zepeda on the D. Gets it inside the paint, turns around, puts up a floating shot for 2, misses, and that would be Bollinger. Jackson with the shot for 2 and makes it. Jada with 6 of the points for the Lady Tigers. Meanwhile, on the other side, got Muniz. Inside now, feeds it to Ross, puts up a shot, misses off the left. Rebounded by Frenship. And Bollinger. Nice little floater, gets a rebound and a putback for Jackson. 8 points now for the tall kid. 8-0 run for the Lady Tigers. Thought about a 3 from Ross. Instead, we'll get it over to Zepeda on the left wing. Inside, puts it up, and a air ball, unfortunately, for Muniz. And another shot missed, and another one and done for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. This one will go out of bounds and will be retained as Lady Tiger ball. 4:29 to go in the first. As that is Bollinger. Over to the other side. Fast on the left wing, puts up a 3, misses everything altogether, and that was going to be Lent. And rebounded and taken the other way is going to be Muniz. Still has the ball, top of the arc, going to go ahead and feed her to the right wing. Inside now to Zepeda. She's going to go ahead and dish it to the left. And that looks like it is Muniz. Going to have a whistle and a foul. Block foul looked like. Be the first one for the Lady Tigers. As that one went to Beam, Maisie Beam. Turnover for Hobbs. Quickly goes the other way. Gets in the hands of Jackson. Jackson almost lost the ball, but did get up to pick up the dribble. Will be on the right wing. Now top of the arc, inside, tried to get that pass, was blocked, and Godwin gets the steal. Goes the other way inside, dish from Zepeda, now back to her in the paint. Going to go ahead and drive the lane against the tall kid. Thought about it, did not attempt it, and dishes it back out again. It is Mendoza out there now, who dished it off to Muniz. Muniz for the long 3, WNBA did not make it. Rebound almost by Jackson, but it ends up going out of bounds. Will be retained to Hobbs. 3:05 to go. Hobbs still scoreless, 8-0 so far in this first quarter. Did not expect that Mendoza, as she had it passed to her, actually inbounded to her. Quick set, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Hobbs. Going to continue to be Lady Tigers ball. 3:01 remaining in the first. Thank everybody for being here on this nice Friday afternoon. Almost stolen away by Ross, but instead goes out of bounds. Actually, though, it looks like it was last touched by the Lady Tigers. That was a kickball. So we got a timeout on the floor after that kickball, and we've got a 2:58, and Coach Carpenter wants to talk with the troops. Back in 30 seconds as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. .258 remaining in the first quarter, and Hobbs still scoreless as they have got the ball now. Zepeda over, and then it's going to be to Navarro. Back to Navarro. Right wing, going to go to her left. Dish it off to Rivera. Who's going to go ahead and go inside. Unable to get that was Muniz. Over to Zepeda on the left wing. Going ahead and launch up a three and misses off the side. Rebounded by, that is the tall kid once again. Jackson is going to be saying her name a lot. Zepeda on defense, finally gets it across the timeline for the Lady Tigers. And back into the hands of Bollinger. Bollinger now on the left. Going to feed it off to Jackson. Try to, does get it after the bad pass almost. And Jackson dishes it off to the right. Runs the lane, tries to get it up, and gets fouled. Looks like Lent was a little out of control, but may get the benefit of the doubt anyway, as that was a push foul. Navarro with her first, and team's first as well. It's a shooting foul considered, so she's on the line to shoot two. That is going to be Emily Lent, the senior. First one is up, and it will be in. First free throw from either side. Score is now 9-0. And one more makes it 10. And Hobbs back on offense as Zepeda gets across the timeline. Over to Muniz. Over to Ross. Ross seeing or eyeing a three, but did not take it. Back to Zepeda. Over to Ross once again. Drives to the paint, goes back to Zepeda. She drives into the paint. And almost a bad pass. Ross is able to collect it though and get it back into play. Left wing now, and that is Muniz. Back to Ross. Inside. And Muniz for three, misses off the side. Does get the rebound, did Hobbs, and that'll be a three-pointer on the way for Zoe, no good. Zepeda, no good. And for the rebound, that looked like it was Rivera. So turnover number 4 for Hobbs. As they're now pressing in the full court. Bollinger gets it ahead to her, to a breaking Lent. Try to put it up, and we'll get the foul, as that was Jackson, Jada Jackson once again. Leading the way with 8 points so far. On the line to shoot 2. And that'll be the third for 3 team fouls. 3 fouls against Navarro. First one is a miss. Oh, no, actually she got it. Second one too, I was wishful thinking. Maybe if I said it, she would miss it. But nope, she missed. She made both. And it is now 12-0. 12-0 run. A shot makes it afterwards. Goes inside, lays it up though, misses, and that was a fast break point that Hobbs could not ill afford to get or have made. That is a steal by Ross. Takes it the other way. Stops as she loses the handle, but does pick it right back up again. And just looking to the right, left, and be Muniz to her left. Back to her center now for the for Ross. Now she rotates to the left. Over to Rivera, and now to Zepeda on the right wing. All the way across. Left wing gets a little double team action. Should be, and it is, as she runs into her player. That'd be Beam. Hits Rivera. And that'll be foul number 1 for Lent. Actually, that's second for her. That's second on Beam. 16 seconds to go. Inside, hits her, but does get it over Rivera. Back over to Zepeda in her sweet spot. Did not take that shot, though. As now they have 7 seconds to go. Zepeda sees that, gets it down to 5. Ross with the ball. Double team, gets it to Muniz, but gets it over to Rivera, but could not get the shot off in time, so does not count even if she would have made it. 12-2 is the first quarter ending. Be back in more with more coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. year makes is it's the season for the Hobbs Eagles. This was last year. It was a 12-7 game. Hobbs had 12. Of course, Frenship had 7. This time around, it is a 12-2 game. And Frenship looking to even that to a 1-1 record against the Hobbs Eagles squad. Of course, this is game number 4 for the Hobbs Eagles against the Texas teams. 3-0 so far. They'd like to get that to be 4-0, but can't do it if they've got the score of 2 points. Only one that has scored so far, I believe, was, actually I think that was Muñez. All right, we're going to get underway. It's going to be handled by Rivera. Over to Zepeda. Ross has it on the left wing. Going to go ahead and move to the center. Direct traffic. Get it over Rivera. Inside to Katie and back out again for a 3-pointer. Oh, that's a little high for Ross and misses that one. Rebounded by, that is me, Phillips. But it goes out of bounds. Let's see who touched it last. Looks like it'll be retained by the Lady Tigers. Gets it over to Phillips. Madison Phillips back over to Lint. And that is going to be stolen by Hobbs, taken back the other way. That was Rivera who was able to take that one and get into the hands of Zepeda. Back over to Ross, working up to the top of the arc. 27 points last game. She'd like to do that again. For the 8th grader, she's playing very well. Of course, Zepeda also playing well. Gets it off to her right to Rivera, back over to Zepeda. And Rivera once again over to Ross. Zepeda looking for a shot, could not get an open one, so tries to go down the lane instead, feeds it off to Muñez, tries to get a 3 up and no good. Back the other way for Hobbs. For Lady Tigers. Gets underneath the basket, puts one in, and that's going to be Boilinger. She's got 4 points. She's the other scorer for the Lady Tigers as that one goes off the leg of Boilinger. Should be a kick ball. And Hobbs will be inbounding it. Zepeda to Ross. Ross puts up a 2, misses that one, rebounded once again by Jackson. Number 4. Quick shot and up and made for Boilinger. 6 points for her. Hobbs going back the other way, needs to get some offense going on. Muñez over to Zepeda. Left wing, now top of the arc to Katie Godwin. They get something inside working for it. And that is going to be a nice shot if it does count, and it looks like it will for Muñez. She's able to get that one even after the push. So it'll be the and 1 for her. So the first field goal for Hobbs, actually second field goal for Hobbs. That one goes out and back in, counts it. Getting some substitutions in, looks like. One of them going out will be Lint, Emily Lint. And now with 5:58 remaining in the first half. Sells out of bounds, so she's going to have to go to the side. That is going to be Lint. Boilinger has the ball as she's about to cross timeline. Nope, she went ahead and see there's a whistle on the floor. And they're saying it goes against Lady Tigers. That was a backcourt violation. I wasn't certain if it was or not. It looked like it was, but again, it is a backcourt violation. First one of the second quarter for the turnover for the Lady Tigers. Back in the hands of, that would be Muñez. To Ross. To Riviera. And back over again to Muñez. Muñez looking to see about getting a 3, but instead goes to Zepeda. Drives the lane, gets double team, puts up a shot, and will get the foul instead, as it is a little bit short. So that'll be against Brooklyn Cox, her first. Actually, no, they're saying it's going to be Busby, her first. Zapata, though, with her first of 2, and makes it 10-point difference now for the Lady Eagles. The 6th game of the season, and the second one goes in as well. Back down to 9, so single digits for the deficit. Going back the other way quickly. Into the hands of Bollinger, over to Jackson. Jada Jackson has it now, the tall one. As she believes she walked. Yep, she traveled. And so the other way, that'll be 2 now for the Lady Tigers, 3 altogether in the game. That's me in the hands of Muniz, over to the right to Rivera. Inside, try to dish it to Muniz, but instead overthrew it. And it'll be Jackson with the interception. It looks like a tie-up. And that'll be against possibly Hobbs. If it is, it'll be Mariah Mojica, who's on the floor, who was near her. Instead, though, it'll be going against Muniz, her first. Team's first. Trying to get it around. Got double teamed, and that is Mariah Mojica, who steals that ball. Gets into the hands of Rivera. A shot that is no good. Rebounded by, that'd be Lent. And blocked out by Muniz. Go out of bounds. Still retained to be Frenship ball. Going back in, it looks like that'll be Phillips. Coming out will be Busby. So 2-1 count on the fouls. Hobbs has 1. Lady Tigers have 2. 3-pointer on the way. That'll be off the front of the rim. No good. That is going to be for Bollinger. Rebound, foul. It's going to be a jump ball. And Frenship does have the arrow, possession arrow, so they do not lose the ball. 4:24 remaining in the first half. As it gets into the hands once again of Bollinger, a 3-pointer on the way. It's going to be dropped in for good. She now has 9 points. Be Ross to Mojica. Inside to Ross, not quite there. The pass was off, intercepted, and it was Jackson who was able to get it. Threw up ahead to Lent, but could not get it. Turnover by the Lady Tigers. Going back the other way. Hobbs has Mojica on the floor along with, that would be Muniz. Ooh, and a slip and a fall. Seems to be all right, but hopefully they'll take care of that floor area. Seems to be a little slick. Coming in though, looks like it'll be Zapata. Going out is going to be Mojico. So nicely done, Mariah. Maybe she'll be back later on, but for right now, we've got Zapata back on the floor, and timeout for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. It is 3:51 to go. We've got 19-7 for the score, and Hobbs looking to get back into this one. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network, whether you're on HobbsAmerica.com or on YouTube. Hobbs Lady Eagles facing their toughest opponent so far this season, apparently, at 19-7. They said they're number 2 in Lubbock for the rankings. Of course, Hobbs is number 1 in New Mexico. Over to Ross, back to the left. Zapata thought about a 3 from the left arc. Instead, goes back to Ross, top of the arc. Back to the left, into the hands of Rivera. Inside, tried to dish it and did get it, but unfortunately those tall bodies are causing havoc against the 5'2 Zapata. It'll be a turnover for Hobbs. Inbounding the ball will be Maisie Beam. Back to Jackson. Jada Jackson has the ball. He's going to go ahead and get it across the timeline. And several fast passes. And it's going to go out of bounds as it was last touch by Maisie Beam, trying to get something going offensively, and outran the court. So turnover number 4. Going to be Muniz with a nice little teardrop. Did not make it though, and going to be going back the other way. Rebound, that was by Phillips, who is on the floor right now. Unfortunately, it'll be against Rivera, her first. Team's second, so nobody in the bonus yet. So he gets in the hands of Madison Phillips. Over to Beam, Maisie Beam, back inside, try to get to Jackson, does get it. Goes to Boilinger, back over again, and that is going to be to Phillips. A long two is on the way, misses, and that's going to be from Jackson. So Jackson hasn't missed too many, but that one definitely was an inside for 2, as it will be retained by the Lady Tigers with 2:46 remaining. Back to Jada Jackson, goes underneath, tries to hit that shot, misses, gets her own rebound, and does clean up the glass rather nicely. She's been a rebound machine. 21-7 is the score right now, 2:34 remaining. And it's now in the hands of Zepeda on the left wing. Was one that crossed to right, now center for Ross. Looking around to the right, does get it off to, now back to Ross. Inside, actually over to the right. Lost it as it was deflected off of Jackson out of bounds, but last touched, unfortunately, by Navarro. 2:14, it gets back to Maisie. Over to Jada Phillips, who was just on the line, goes ahead and gets across it. And over to Boilinger. Back to Jada. To the left side now. Jada for 2, a nice little teardrop. Does get her own rebound after being the tallest one there. And gets the second one once again. The second chance points, cleaning up the glass and getting her rebound as well. Off to the left-hand side now for Muniz. To Ross. Ross is going to be at the top of the arc. Dribbling it a little bit. Gets it back over to Muniz. And they're still trying to see if they can get to that opening. Of course, with those taller players, it's causing a little trouble trying to get it past them. To the right or left. Thought about a 3. Did not take it. That was Mackey. And back to the top for Muniz. Zepeda almost had an opening, did not take the advantage of it. And now back to Navarro, who goes inside, turns around, tries to put up a shot, does not make it fall, but does get the foul to count. So we're going to line to shoot 2. Foul is going to go against Brooklyn Cox, her first. Going to line to shoot 2 will be Carly Rivera. First one doesn't make it. 57.43 seconds remaining in the first half, as we have one more opportunity for a point. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jackson once again. Going back the other way. And that is going to be 2-pointer, another one for the Lady Tigers. Zepeda over to her right, actually her left. Up for 3 and misses off the side of the rim. Rebound by Jackson. And that was a shot by Muniz.
Head up, ladies, head up. Here we go.
So Muniz gets her second foul. Second team foul, 4 for the Lady Tigers, one more to put Hobbs in the bonus. Back to her left, that'll be for Phillips. Three-pointer on way for Bollinger. WNBA 3 misses, but is rebounded almost by Lady Tigers. Instead, takes the other way is Ross. She's going to go ahead and run the lane as well. Gets a shot put up and misses, and unfortunately does not draw the foul. We have 5 seconds remaining, almost 6 now. Bollinger is caught with the ball in the front court. Be a push foul, and that looks like it'll be against, number 4? Fourth foul against Navarro. Yep, she's already had 4, and it's not even halftime yet. Still not in bonus yet on either side. 3 fouls for Hobbs. It's in the bound of the ball will be Madison Phillips. Over to Bollinger. She's going to pull up a 3 and miss. Will be rebounded by Zepeda, but not enough time to do anything with it as the clock, as you hear, expires. 25-7, and a low-scoring game, and Hobbs held to 7 points. I'm not sure exactly how long it's been since that's happened, but I'm sure it has been quite a while. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage and get you some stats as well to get you into the third quarter. Be back in a moment on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Welcome back to Wolf Worth, Texas. You are not saying wrong. It unfortunately is a 25-7 lead for the Lady Tigers of Frenship here at Woolworth, Texas. Hope you're having a good one out there as we're about to get into the third quarter here, but we've got a halftime. So let's go ahead and get the halftime score as far as who's doing what. I had a feeling that Jada Jackson would take advantage of her height, and so far she has done so with 12 points. 11 rebounds. She's already got a double-double going on for her. And she's been one of the reasons, I believe, that has been her presence underneath the basket has slowed down or stopped the Hobbs Eagles from being able to score at will. It seems like there's been several times when someone will pull up, they'll get underneath in the paint, underneath the basket, try to get a shot, have to turn around and pass it out again because they're just being overshadowed by this Jada Jackson. Other scorers for the Lady Tigers, not too many, but Bollinger does have 5 with a 3-pointer to her name. Brooklyn Cox came in and scored 4 off of 2 shots. Maisie Beam has 2, as well as Emily Lent. And that is the scoring. So that's 5 scorers in the books for the Lady Tigers. On the other side, not very much scoring going on with 2 in the first and 5 points in the second. And it has been Zepeda with the 2 points, also Ross with 2 points, and Muniz with 2 plus the 1. That's 3 points for her. And that is 3 in the books for the Lady Eagles, and that is usually not what happens. In fact, that's normally their first quarter, but their first half just struggling to get the ball in. As Mojica and some others have come out, she did get a steal. In fact, the leading stealer for the Hobbs Lady Eagles is Ross with 3. Otherwise, it just has not gone as well as they would like to. But they're going to make some adjustments, of course, try to come out here in the second half and see what they can do. Once again, the score is correct, 25-7. We're in Wolfra, Texas, where there's 4:16 to go before the third quarter gets started. 6:37 on the clock, and yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of fouling, so the time went by real quick. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here, whether you're on HobbsAmerica.com or on YouTube. I want to thank our sponsors, without who, of course, we would not be able to put these on the air. Once again, Eastern New Mexico University, along with Lasco Construction, Badger, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, NMR Pipeline, Master Plumbers, Divine Energy Services, Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, along with Bel Air Bowl, Southwest Siding, Windows and Doors, and DNC Electric. Thank you all for being part of the team. And without you guys, we would not be able to put these on the air for free, whether it's on HobbsAmerica.com or on YouTube. Be back in moments to get the third quarter started. We've got 3 minutes to go before the third quarter tips off again. Welcome back. As I had a feeling that Frenship could, if anybody would be able to challenge this Hobbs Lady Eagles team, it would definitely be the Lady Tigers. Last year it was a close game, but not as close as this. Of course, last year was 50-32. That was also in the confines of Tasker Arena. Of course, we're on the road in Texas, and it is definitely showing. It's not a long trip, but it's definitely Hobbs need to get back into this. 25-7. One of the things that has been a difference a little bit is the free throws. Neither team has gotten to the line too many times, but 4 for 4 from the line for the Lady Tigers. And it has been 3 of 5 for the Lady Eagles. So if they can get force the issue, get some fouls, and I think that's one of the problems that they've been having. They've been kind of trying to get into the basket, but afraid to get blocked or get knocked down by the tall player, Jada Jackson. And so they've been trying to get alternative routes. But let's see what happens with the adjustments that Carpenter has done in the second half versus Coach Hillard, who is going to be, of course, coaching the Lady Tigers. See what they're going to be showing in the second half and see if they're going to try to get the victory. Of course they are, but 3-1 at home, 11-6 overall for the record. And we are ready to roll, so to speak. Looks like it'll be a bit of a different lineup for the Lady Eagles. Got Ross out there along with Muñez. Also have Katie, and it'll be Mendoza out there, Jordan Mendoza, along with Rivera. Rivera had the ball for a second. Now it's back over to Ross's hands on the right wing to Katie Godwin. Back over to the left wing to Muñez. Top of the arc for Rivera. And she gets it under the hands of Ross. The 8th grader. It's over to Godwin. Back over to Muñez. Thought about driving the lane for a second. Going to go ahead and get it inside, but it's going to be stolen by Jackson. And that'll be another steal for her as it gets in the hands of Bollinger, where she crosses the timeline. Bollinger already has one inside feed, a nice assist as well to Jackson, and another point. She had 12 points so far. That makes 2 more for the Lady Tigers. Gets it over the left wing. Inside Godwin, going to feed it to her to Rivera. Actually, no, that was Ross. And back out. This was Rivera for 3. Misses off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Bollinger. Gets it across already, and a double team 2-on-1, and that'll be an easy shot for Phillips. And 4-0 so far in this quarter, as that is a nice running shot, beautifully played, and got the extra point as well, or the extra attempt on the foul, although she was 0 for 2 on the line. Jada gets her foul, her first one of the game, as that is also the first one for the Lady Tigers. Hopefully she has learned from the first time. 0 for 2 from the line so far today. One more. Off the front of the rim and misses that one as well. So just gets the shot. Rebound, and it's going to be Hobbs' ball still. Inside, and that'll be Rivera. Misses that shot, but rebounded by Ross. And will miss that one, but will draw the foul. So she has 2 points, would like to get more as she gets 2 free throws for her effort. Foul is going to go against Maisie. Number 3 for her, as that first one does go in for Ross. Ross has been 9 of 17 from the line. I'll make that 10 of 18. 2 go down as 29-11 now is the score with 6:23 to go in the third quarter. Bollinger now has the ball once again. Gets it across the timeline, gets Cepeda. And it'll be Jackson now on the right wing. Inside to Bollinger once again, may turn around and instead feeds it out to Lent, who puts it up, hits the back rim, actually the back board. Looks like there will be a foul against Madison Cepeda. Shooting foul, her first, and that'll put on the line to shoot 2, Bollinger. Believe this is their first attempts. And it does roll in. 30-11 right now, with 1 more to go. 6:02 remaining in the third quarter. Puts this one up and off the front of the rim, no good. So 1 of 2 from the line. As it is Ross who crosses the timeline. Gets it over to Zepeda on the left wing. Works it to the right. It's going to continue going. Well, she thought about going in. Now she's going to go Ross again. It was thought about a 3, but instead we'll get it back to Zepeda on the right wing. Get a little room, but instead gets double teamed. Tripped up, doesn't lose the ball. In fact, gets it over to her teammate and could not get it in. That was Muniz. Fast break, and that'll be 2 on the way for Phillips. So using those fast break points as well as catching Hobbs off guard on the defense. Zepeda on the other end. Top of the arc now, back over to Ross. Ross gets back to the top of the arc, goes ahead and launches a 3 and drains it. And that's what Hobbs needed, was a little life, and that may work for them. But it goes back the other way. Jackson drawing a foul as she throws up a nice little lane drive and could not get it to fall. So Muniz is going to get hers. It's going to be her second foul from Muniz. And that one rattles in for Jackson. I've got her at 2 for 2 on the line. Now she's 3 for 3. Make that 4 for 4. And now we've got a 34-14 lead. That's 20 points. As it is 4:57. Remember, there's no mercy rule, so if they do get beyond 35, it will still continue to be the same. Timeout on the floor. It'll be from Coach Carpenter, as he is wanting to see what he can do about changing his fortunes. It's only been, let's see, they've scored 7 points in this third quarter. He wants a lot more. Let's go ahead and take a break. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. As we get ready for the holidays, of course, we have the Hobbs Holiday Tournament coming on 29, 30, and the 31st. And that'll be a little bit different than normal. Usually it's right after Christmas, but instead it'll be right before New Year's. It'll be on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Don't forget about that. Of course, the boys and the girls have their schedules all set for the most part. And it'll be, of course, the first opponent we know about. The second one we don't know, because it's going to be winner and our loser, depending on how it works out. Of course, Hobbs would love, both sides would love to be able to win their tournament. But for right now, the Hobbs Lady Eagles struggling in this one, 34-14, 4:53 remaining, and Zepeda with the ball. Goes over to the left wing now. Inside to Godwin, back out again for 3 from Ross. Misses that one and rebounded by Jackson. Again, go across to Bollinger. Got a little travel look like, but ended up laying it up in front of the basket for 2. Back the other way, and it'll be inside for Zepeda off a Muniz pass. To Godwin, tried to catch it, but instead gets knocked out of bounds because of Jackson. So Jada Jackson, actually it looked like it was Jada Jackson that knocked off, and instead it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Godwin. So going back the other way, Hobbs loses the ball on that one. And inside, Bollinger for 3 from the right wing, misses off the side. And a long rebound and goes out of bounds. Let's see who they think touched it last. So it'll be touched last by Hobbs. Lady Tigers with the ball. Getting into the hands of Phillips. Madison is going to pass it inside to Jackson. She had to jump big to get it. Back to Madison, and she gets a bump foul as she puts it in. Phillips with 2 and the 1. And who's going to get the foul call? So Madison is going to get her second. Actually, it looks like it'll be Rivera, her second. Missed that one, rebounded though by the Lady Tigers. Goes all the way across to Bollinger once again on the right wing. Drives inside against Ross. He's going to put up a shot and make it. And now it is 40-14, 3:35 remaining. Zepeda on the right wing. Go back to, that is Rivera. Ross to Muñez, back to Ross. Off to the right wing now. And in the hands of Rivera. To Ross. She's going to try to drive the lane. She does. Loses the handle though and will be a push foul. Unfortunately, that's going to be against. Looks like that is not Ross, but Muñez. That'll be her third. So another turnover for Hobbs, as they cannot seem to get a handle of it, or at least get those opportunities to be able to score when they're in the front court. Almost had a steal from Muñez, but instead will go to the left wing for Lent. Lent trying to work around her defender Rivera. Instead, gets it inside to Maisie, and she's unable to get it. Rebounded by Jackson, and Jada couldn't get hers to drop either. And that will be a rebounding foul going the other way. So Lady Tigers get it. And that'll be against Jada Jackson, her second. So with 2:42 to go, 40-14, Hobbs trying to get back into this as best they can. And Ross with the ball crossing the timeline. Goes over to the right, left, Macy. So that was a shot put up and missed by Mojica. Going back the other way quickly for the Lady Tigers. Jackson with a setup, ran the lane, could not get the finish though. As she misses that shot, rebounded, and actually that was rebounded by Katie Godwin. Ross with a three, no, she's going to dish it to the right and put up a three for Rivera, misses that shot. And it goes back the other way from the rebound for the Lady Tigers. Out of bounds, and let's see who's going to get this one with 2:06 remaining in the third quarter. 40-14 though, neither side really scoring a whole lot. In fact, it's only been 15 points to 7. So that'll put Jada back on the line. She has been 4 of 4 so far, so we don't want to see her on the line, as it is now 5 of 5. That foul went to Mojica, her first. That's 41, and missed that one, so finally missed one. Goes back the other way for Ross, all the way open lane and in the dish from the lefty layup for 2. Jackson with a layup as well underneath the basket, getting her 2. And back and forth we go. Inside to Zepeda. Up for 3 on the left-hand side, misses off the back of the rim for Mojica. Steal, and Mojica has the ball going back the other way. A little kick ball on that one. Looks like she lost her footing a little bit, but she was able to retain the ball. Are the Lady Eagles, minute 25 to go, is Zepeda with the ball. Back over to Ross on the right. Mojica, back to Ross. And now Madison Zepeda. 3 thought about, but no, that was going to be from Rivera. Instead, Ross for 3, and going to be short off the front of the rim. And that was a rebound almost by Mojica, but instead goes out of bounds. Be back the other way for Lady Tigers. It's going to be off the foot of Mojica, so to retain Lady Tigers ball. 1:03 remaining in the third quarter. It is a 43-16 lead, or game, for the Lady Tigers over the Lady Eagles. Walking off is Mojica. Going inside is Beam. Thrown out of bounds as it wasn't able to be caught by Bollinger. It's a turnover for Frenship. Zapata with the ball as she crosses the timeline. Looking to her right, going over to Ross. Ross is there with a long three, but decides not to take it. Zapata to the left, inside, out again, and back over to, that is Mendoza. Three-pointer on the way, no good. I think that was Rivera who tried it. Instead goes back the other way. Jackson with another rebound. Three on the way for Beam. Misses that one as rebounded by Godwin. Madison thought about it too. Instead is going to push it off to Mendoza. We've got 3 seconds to go. Another shot. Godwin up and in. Makes that one, but it is going to be a long way to go to get back into this game. 43-18 as we get into the fourth quarter. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. This game not going the Eagles' way, obviously. Welcome here as it is 43-18. The third quarter looked as 18-11 with that final shot going in for Katie Godwin. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Lasco Construction, Badger, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, NMR Pipeline, Master Plumbers, Divine Energy Services, Unis Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, Bel Air Bowl, Southwest Siding, Windows and Doors, along with DNC Electric and Eastern New Mexico University. Thank you all for the support. 8 minutes to go, and we've got one final gasp of air for Hobbs. Down by 25 points. So they're going to have a big fourth quarter. Told you, though, if Lady Tigers were held below 50, they would probably lose. Right now, they're set to be at 50 as they have the ball. Back in the hands of Beam. Over to her left-hand side for Bollinger for three, and it is in. Swish, unfortunately. And that is a killer. Going back the other way for three as well from Zapata, and misses it. Rebounded by Lady Tigers. Goes inside underneath the Beam as she should have been fouled, but instead it did not. She made the points anyway. And it is going to be 2 for her. She already had 2 points. Back the other way, and it is Zapata. Over to Ross. And they need to start looking at fast points if we want to get back into this game. That kick ball that one is definitely a kick ball from Beam as Maisie stuck her foot out on that one. So 7:09 to go, and it is unfortunately a 48-18, a 30-point lead for the Lady Tigers. Coming in is going to be Muñez. Going out is Rivera. Ross over to Rivera. Back to Ross again. Near the top of the arc, now going to the right. To Madison Zapata, throws it across, nicely done as it gets to Rivera. Trying to work around again, could not get an open shot. Puts up a three for Muñez and will be missed, rebounded by, and it's going to be, that is going to be Busby. Three-pointer on the way and good. That looked like that was going to be from Bollinger. She's hit 2 already. Off to the right for Muñez. Now it's to the right, over to Mendoza, inside to Godwin. Turns around, tries to get a shot, does. Misses off the side, just had a little too much mustard on that one. Rebounded by Busby. over to the left for a long two. It'll be off the front of the rim, and that'll be against, let's see, that was Middleton. Instead of the rebound, it will be, looks like a shooting foul. So yes, it'll be Maisie to the line to shoot two. 4 for 4 is what they were at the first half. And it goes against Madison Zepeda for a second. .609 remaining. As that one goes in, it will be 51-18 with 6:03 to go in the fourth. In the hands of Muñez, back over to Rivera on the right wing. Inside, actually that's going to be to Zepeda. Now inside to Katie Godwin. Tried to make the shot, got the rebound, but goes out of bounds. And that will go out of bounds. Last touch by Hobbs, unfortunately. Going back the other way for the ball. That'll be, again, the Lady Tigers. With 5:48 remaining, and time is a factor. It'll be in the hands of Busby as she crosses the timeline, gets it over to the right. Almost threw it out of bounds, but instead gets into the hands of James. Back to Busby for a three, and on the way and in, good for Busby. Not that they needed any more threes. Three-pointer on the way, though, for Madison, off and air ball. Busby gets the rebound as she goes back the other way. So lack of rebounds and poor shooting are causing some problems for Hobbs as it goes inside to, that is going to be not Bollinger, that's Cox. Back the other way, though, quickly, it's going to be Rivera. Actually, that's Mendoza. Mendoza sets it up and hits the two. So Jordan Mendoza with the two. It'll go out of bounds. It could have been, probably would have been a backcourt violation anyway, so might as well just go ahead and let it dribble out of bounds. 4:43, took up a little more time on that one as it's going to be inbounded, looks like by Muñiz. Over to Ross, who's been really, well, most of them have been quiet, so can't say that, but definitely been trying. Back again to Muñiz for three off the side of the rim, and it is rebounded by Mendoza. Mendoza with three on the right wing, misses that one as well. Aim was a little off as that was going to be a tie ball. Bollinger on the floor. 4:24 remaining, it's 54-20, 34-point difference. And the ball still in the possession of Hobbs. Back over to Muñiz for three on the left wing, and she does drain that one for three. 54-23, another one as goes backcourt. Actually was touched last. Reach in foul though, and that'll be against Rivera. It'll be Hobbs' second team foul. Looks like Frenship has not had a foul in this quarter yet. Out of bounds once again, this time mishandled. And it will be Hobbs' ball as it goes off the hands of Middleton. So Ross with the ball, going across the timeline. Gets it all the way over to Mendoza, back to Muñiz, top of the arc. Now back over to Ross. To Mendoza, back to Ross on the right wing. Mendoza thought about a three for a moment, going ahead, drive the lane, gets the double team, and will draw the foul as two of them reached in and just grabbed her, not the ball. Actually, no, it's going to be a jump ball. So instead, it'll be a turnover for Hobbs as we have the jump ball possession. It's going to go to the Lady Tigers. Coming in is going to be, for Godwin, is going to be Audrey Mackey. Mackey going to see some time with 3:45 to go. Busby over to Madison James. Ross on James, getting back to Busby. Goes inside. Bollinger almost got a walk, but instead loses the handle as it was a bad pass. And after a little bit of a scrum, will be a foul. Looks like it'll be against 24. All right, so that'll be Middleton with her foul. Hobbs retains, but with 3:25 to go. So Ross is going to take the ball. Back over to the right-hand side, or left-hand side now. To Mendoza inside, back out again on the left. Now go to the top of the arc, to the right. And it is going to be, there we go. Inside, and it'll be Rivera pushing her way in, getting that two-pointer drop. And that is 54-25 now. Across the timeline is Busby. Goes to her right. Working against, well, tried to throw it, did, and got the handle on that one. And gets a turnover now. That's going to be from Mendoza. Sorry, Rivera puts up an easy 2 on that one. There was a little confusion on some of the passing for the Lady Tigers. Almost another steal. This time it would have been from Muniz, but instead goes inside, and that is Mendoza getting another steal. Getting it back across the timeline for the Hobbs Eagles in the front court. Over to Muniz. 2:13 to go. Ross inside now to Muniz. Working up against another tall player. That'll be Middleton. And that'll be against Maddie James. Her first, team second. And Ross is coming out. Coming in will be Mendoza is going to go ahead and get the ball, shoot it up, miss. Rebounded by, that is Cabrera. Busby with a shot underneath the basket, no good. Mendoza with the rebound. On the way is going to be, that is Mojica. Back over to her left-hand side, in to Mendoza, back out to Mojica. And off to the right, unfortunately just passes it past Rivera for the turnover. 1:38 remaining, and it is unfortunately 54-27. Time running short for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, and they may be going down to their first loss of the season after having 60-6 for the last 66 of their games. This will be a good reminder on how tough teams can play you. That one goes inside, be laid up on the right-hand side. No good, though. That is going to be missed. And that opportunity was Brooklyn Cox who tried to get that shot in. Minute 18 remaining. 54-27. Oh, and that was against Maddie. Inside to Rivera, goes ahead and puts it up. Misses though, not Rivera, Mendoza. As it'll be a reach-in foul. Unfortunately, that'll be against Hobbs. Godwin with her first. Team's third. 1:02 remaining now. As it is Busby who has the ball. Lost it for a second, gets double teamed, gets wrapped up as well. Is it going to be a tie ball or no? They're probably going to call a foul. A hold foul on Mojica. And that is her second. So no shooting foul. Back over to, that is Cox to the right wing, and that is going to be into the hands of Piper Smith. Busby's going to drive the lane, put up a shot, and draw the foul. As it is now 44.16 points or seconds remaining. Who's going to get the call? That'll be against Mackey, her first. First one for Busby is in and out, no good. Does have one more opportunity to put in a point. I know she's got a 3 earlier in this game. Second one is good. 55-27. Hobbs with a couple more opportunities to be able to score as it's in the hands of Rivera. Tried to get it to, that is Godwin, but instead goes out of bounds. And unfortunately, looks like last touch by Godwin. 32.15 seconds remaining, and Hobbs will definitely be losing this first game of the season. James inbounds it to Busby. There she gets it across the timeline. Actually, that is Rivera on D. And that is a foul against the Lady Tigers. So Cox is going to get her third actually. Get it in the hands of Mojica, back into Godwin, back out again for a 3-pointer from Mendoza, misses off the back of the mark. One more opportunity from, oh, nicely done, as that was hit by Rivera. And that will be the ball game. Final score on this one is 55-30. We'll take a break, be back in a moment as we continue coverage. And it's happening all right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. All right, we are back. There's not much to say other than Hobbs drops their first one of the season by a score of 55-30. He's got out-rebounded and outshot by this Lady Tigers, which, by the way, I forgot about the fact that I know they're going to be playing next will be the Alamogordo Tigers, but back-to-back Tiger games, and of course the Alamogordo Tigers not as strong, not as able to be able to do what they did today, the Lady Tigers of Frenship. So it'll be interesting to see what the transition is going to be as Be a home game, of course. That'll be on the 16th. That'll be, let's see, that is, can't remember what day that is. I think it's on a Friday, but I want to say actually it's a Tuesday. It is a Tuesday. So the next game is going to be Alamogordo, and that'll be against the Alamogordo Lady Tigers. Of course, that is now putting on a record of 5-1. We are going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you very much once again to our sponsors, without whom, of course, we would not be able to put these on the air. Talking about Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, NMR Pipeline, Unis Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, along with Southwest Siding, Windows and Doors, DNC Electric, Bel Air Bowl, Lee County State Bank, Forest Tire, Divine Energy Services, Master Plumbers, and Badger. And if you want to catch me tomorrow, I'm going to be in Eunice to be covering the final day of the JAL teams. I know the girls lost. I'm not sure about the boys, but girls will be playing at 10 a.m. and the boys could be either playing at noon or at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course, all that is happening in the Eunice the Cardinal Winter Classic that is going on this weekend. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much. And I want to thank, besides our sponsors, as I already have, thank Jared Bear for the camera work. Thank Evie back at the station for taking care of us, as well as Tiffany, and for myself, Ron Gunner. I wish you a great afternoon and take care of yourself. And in fact, if I don't see you before then, if you don't see me, have a good weekend.